Hey everybody, I'm Hamza Krumza, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do a standard 22 population scout rush build on Arabia. Going to be using the Saracens to make sure there's no type of eco bonus helping us out, and I'm also going to try and show the small things like palisade walling and which vills to repurpose during the build. Hope you all enjoy. So, to get started, the Scout Rush is a very strong, flexible build that can buy you some time, help you transition into Castle Age, or outright end the game if you do enough damage. With a good timing, you can force plenty of idle time and force your opponent to use his resources defensively rather than offensively in your own economy. Even when the Scout Rush is over, you can maintain strong map control and keep an eye on your enemy's movements. This is a personal tier list of some civilizations that I believe do well with the Scout Rush, having either a strong or cheap Scout Rush in the Feudal Age, a good stable transition, or a good Archer switch in the next stage. You can pause the video here and take a look at how the civilizations are ordered. I would recommend doing a Scout Rush with someone like the Franks or let's say the Mongols just to start out, as I feel like they're a bit easier to execute with this strategy. But let's move on to the actual build and let's get started. And here we go for real. So let's get our houses up. We're going to do some sheep scouting. Going to allocate them over here. Okay, so the first 6 population are going to go onto our sheep just so that we can gather some food. We also wanted to find where our boars are. And it looks like we have a boar here, perfect. Okay, so we found all of our boars. We need to find all 6 of our sheep now. And that is kind of a big spot I left. Let's go explore that. So once we have 6 of our villagers onto sheep, or 7 out of 15 population, we're going to send our 8th population villager over to wood. And then it looks like, okay, that was clear. So let's go explore there. So we're going to send our 8th population, our 9th population, and our 10th population over to wood. And it looks like our wood line is kind of crappy, but that's fine. We will manage. So let's keep exploring with our sheep. Let's keep exploring. Okay, perfect. So we should only really need 3 sheep just to start, because we are going to hopefully have our boar before we can ever even think about consuming another sheep. So what you do here is before you even produce that 11 out of 10 population or 15 population villager, you're going to go and grab the boar with one of your sheep villagers, and hopefully by the time we get there, this sheep will have expired, or nearly expired. Perfect. Okay, excellent. That couldn't have gone better. That's exactly what we wanted. So now we have all of this population onto the boar here. And what we're going to want to do is send the 13 population villager over to build a wall, or rather to build, 2 houses that are a part of the wall. I'd really like to find our sheep, so let's go do that. The 14th population villager is actually going to go onto berries, and we're going to build a mill for berries. Now this is the most fortunate map I have ever seen in my whole life, with the deer right here, but we're actually not going to take them. We're going to keep this as standard as possible. But that is one possibility. You could be pushing in deer, you could be grabbing deer, but we're not going to do that today. Looks like we got our board just a tad late there. That's fine, because we should still be able to castle right on time there. So the population from 13 through 16 should all be going to the mill, but like I said before, a lot of those builds don't actually show you when you should be walling with these villagers. So you're actually going to keep this villager who is the berry villager, you're going to keep them walling. You're also going to put your population 16, population 17, and population 18 villager onto the boar. And you're only going to build one farm here. Now, a lot of build orders and guides are going to recommend that you build 2 farms. That is not what you want to do. What 2 farms is going to do is going to put you very far behind on wood, and we do not want that. So, the 19th population villager should go over to wood, so we accidentally did that. And once your boar is finished, your sheep can only ever handle about 8 villagers on it ever at once. And usually even 7 might be enough, but we're going to use 8 for the sake of argument. And also your 20, 21, and 20 population villagers need to actually go and build a lumber camp. So once that actually happens, we're going to research Loom. And then we should be good to search up, or, age up. Perfect. And once we can age up, we're going to immediately send our villagers over here. And what do you do with the villager that was walling berries? You just send, or was walling and should have been on berries? Now you send them to berries. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to take one of these guys off of wood here, and we're going to go and wall the rest of our map, preferably in a way that keeps us safe. And then we're going to need to build a barracks here before we reach Castle Age. Now, we're going to want to do this with one of our sheep villagers and one of our wood villagers. But if you can build a barracks with one villager around 60%, that's exactly perfect. Because once it's 60% and it hits Castle Age, and it hits Feudal Age, then we will have a perfect scout rush there. We can build a stable immediately. We're not going to use the extra sheep that we found there. And what I'll say here actually is do that, we can do that. And we're going to build our stable here. Okay. So perfect. Now we have our stable. We're going to build our villagers. We're going to get both of our eco upgrades as soon as we can. Okay. So we got horse collar and double bit axe. And we're going to send these villagers over to wood. Anytime we have 60 wood from this point on, we're actually going to want to be building a farm. Now that we have horse collar. So, now that we have full production here, we're just going to want to keep building scouts, and we're going to keep building villagers, and we don't want either of those to stop. So, there we go, we got the villagers. We want only 10 on wood ever at one time, but we also have to deal with just kind of the wood intake that is initially flowing out, so you're going to want a little bit more just to start. You should be done walling. Let's just make sure that this is okay. And now, see, with this build, now you're fully walled. You don't have to worry about running into any type of counter scout rush. You don't have to run into any problems with the... Oh, should definitely build a house there. So you're not going to run into problems with anyone doing like a counter scout rush on you. You're not going to be pressured during this period of time. It's just a great build. Okay, now that he's busy. And around the 28 population, we're going to send our villagers over to gold. Have us building 6 scouts here. You could do more, you could do less, but we're just going for the standard. You're going to want to build around 2 farms with your berry villagers, and in this case 3. And let's send them over here. Don't want to get housed again. Alright, so now we have our 6 scouts, which is what we're aiming for. And we're going to want to put 4 people onto that gold. Or rather, 5 people onto that gold. And we want 16 people on wood, 18 people on food, and 5 people on gold. So, let's see. What we're also going to do, once we have these 5 people on gold here, we're going to research our wheelbarrow. And we can be raiding with these guys. And that's what we want to be doing, but come over here. I'm scared that the NPC is going to resign here, or the AI rather. So we're just not going to want to raid too hard. We actually want to finish the build. Okay, so now we have 5 on our gold. We have 18 on food. We have 10 on wood. Perfect. That is what we want out of this build. We're also going to do, with a wood villager, we're going to go build a blacksmith. So that way, once our wheelbarrow finishes, we should be able to immediately age up to the castle age. And here we go, here we go. Still got gathering the berries. And let's see, can we get it perfect here? Let us see. Okay. Yep. And there we are. So now we're up to castle age. We have a very strong economy. We have our 18 people on wood. We have our 18 people on food. We have our 10 people on wood. We have our 5 on gold. From here, you can either add more people on gold for archers. You can build another stable on the way up. You can build archery ranges on the way up. You can build 2 TCs once you actually age up. This is a very flexible build from this point. You can do a lot of different things, and I feel like those would more require a video in and of themselves, so I'd rather not go into them here. But if you'd like me to, just let me know. That's where I'm going to leave this one off. Let me know what your general thoughts are on this video, if there could be any type of improvements. Definitely felt like I could have done it just a little bit cleaner for you guys, but I just wanted to kind of stress more so where the walling should be and what villagers you should be walling with. But yeah, I love making these. I think these are so much fun. And I would love to hear some feedback so I can keep getting better at these. And yeah, let me know. And have a good rest of your day.